There we go. So Broccolini, let's take a quick look at him. He's running with Condi Thief. He's got Rune of the Adventure with Carry On. He's got Sword and Dagger with Shortbow. He's running Deadly Arts, Trickery, and Daredevil. Sorry about that pause, guys. I'm not sure what was going on. Stream is going crazy. Everything's going crazy. Everyone's been kicked out 2 or 3 times already. I don't know what's going on, but he's running Invocation, Corruption, and Herald. Ooh, interesting. He's going Condi rev.
This is a very, very cool build.
Rune of the Ore
really
with
like
Carry
this
On.
rev.
He's running Sword, Axe with Mace, Shield. So here we go.
That's the Rune War work.
I'm very curious, and the Thief's going to be in a little bit of trouble because he does have those ports to go on top of them. So as soon as he tries to mitigate or try to kite away, he can easily come right back onto him and keep the pressure. Hyperstream is back. What's up, Kyo? Yeah, this
Gemini's definitely going to have an uphill battle here.
I think so as well.
Also note the Rev's health pool. It's quite insane here.
Yeah.
29.
Ooh, really good job from Sergeant Gemini, though, on this one. Keeping the heavy pressure onto Legend, but he's got to be careful. Here's that big CC. He's able to pour it out really quickly. He's already used his Sword 3, so he doesn't have the chance to close the gap. Really good job by Broccolini, poking in and out, in and out. I think he's been practicing on this Thief. He's got to be careful now. Those 5 stacks of Torment, and he got caught in that AoE. He's not able to clear those Torments, and that's going to get him. He's able to clear it, but the Poison is probably going to take it. He does get that heal off. Oh, this is going to be good. He's got the 8 stacks of Poison on top of No Name, and he does get the win. But both in a downstate battle. Who's going to win this? I have no idea, but the Poison...
Thief is gonna win.
Yeah, the poison. The poison is huge. The poison is huge. He's able to get him.
Still gonna be close.
Super close.
Downstate,
Oh, really good job. That was an epic match. Really good job. Really good job, Sergeant Gemini. Really good job. That was epic, guys.
Nelly.
Oh Lord, that was good.
I've been practicing.
Yeah, you have been practiced. I noticed. Sir. So here we go into game 2, and I'm sure No Name is not going to take that sitting down. He's able to see now. He's adjusted.
No, I'm dead now.
He can adjust to his opponent. He knows what it feels like now. He understands his flow, and that's a major thing as well, understanding your tactics and the style of play that your opponent pulls out. Just trying to understand their combos and their maneuvers and the way they engage.
A little bit more cleansing onto his build, the sigil.
Oh, yeah, he's got to. He has no choice. He really got caught with that big stack right at the beginning. And like I mentioned with the Condi Thief, it's those first couple of engages that you got to be really careful for. But that was an impressive display from Broccolisa. And everybody thought he was going to die. He was able to clear the last little bit of Torment and then get that last second heal to bring himself up to about 20%. And then get the Condi stacks on top of Broccolisa, on top of Legend, and get the win.
One thing I will say about Legend No Name, I don't think utilized his transfers as well as he could have. One thing Condi Rev has in its advantage here in this matchup is every time it swaps legends, it procs Pulsating Pestilence, which copies 3 conditions to your foe. Technically, it's a transfer now. And the Malik's F2 will copy transfer conditions.
Nice.
So he could take these big poison bombs and just put them right back on the Thief.
And Legend,
it would just fuck up the Thief.
Legend is doing a much better job of avoiding those big engages, but Broccolisa is doing a really good job of just poking in and out, not getting too close or not getting too complacent. He's got to be really careful. Those are 5 stacks of bleeding right there. He does heal up. He's got to be really careful. They're both really low now. He tries to get him in. He's using the no port. Really smart move. Broccolisa is not able to get the major engage. He's forcing himself to kind of come in a little bit of a bad situation, but we're going to have a similar situation as last time. They're both getting really low. He's got the Torment. The Torment's probably going to catch him. Broccolisa goes down from the Torment. Really good job, though, from Legend.
Legend has to watch his health here,
Still be close.
Yeah. I think he's going to get the down, though. He's already really low in downstate. I don't think Legend is going to lose this one.
He's fine now.
Yeah, he's good now. He has.
And once again, guys, going into a game 3, I think there's been 9 matches so far, and 7 of which have been game 3, and we haven't even started the quarterfinals.
No Name is a really good power revenant, so it might have just been taking him a little bit to readjust to playing Condi Rev.
They have very different play styles, so that's true.
And he also has to adjust to his opponent at the same exact time. Broccolisa did a really good job. He got close either way, both sides.
Not to mention, Condi Rev plays differently than it even used to, due to some of the changes they made to Malik's a patch or 2 ago. Malik's the main damage source used to be your little leap that you do, but now it's just a pull, and your main damage source comes from your elite. So it works differently now. So it feels a lot different too.
And that's what I really like about these major patches that come out. They really forces people to try different things, and it gives people the potential to really theory craft something new and interesting.
Yep.
So here we go into game 3, guys. Game 3 of our, I think this is our 9th match in our first round. Let me just take a quick look. Yep, it is our 9th match, No Name versus Sergeant Gemini. And next one is going to be a really good match as well. These have all been really, really, really impressive matches so far. Oh, shit. Dark Opium was the one who won. Sorry, guys, I have to readjust that.
If No Name was getting a little bit cocky there.
I don't know. Legend of No Name really does want to take in some of those Condi so he can transfer him back out. He has to time his transfer as well, because that's a lot of where your Condi Rev's damage is coming from, is those well-timed transfers of Condi back to your opponents.
Oh, Broccoli said, oof, really good
Really bad
sustained.
spot
Just
here.
like that, just like that. That was a good transfer he just got.
7 stacks of
unfortunately.
Torment. The Torment is going to catch Broccolisa for sure. Legend of the No Name takes this and moves on to the next round. Really impressive match coming out of both of these guys. That's No Name that takes it. So good job, Sergeant Gemini. Either way, very, very impressive. Next up, we have Dry Dude versus Crisis. I'm going to enjoy this one. I believe Dry Dude is going to be running a Proud Hollow, so we're going to see probably most of his matches going into the map mechanic. But in this situation, Crisis is running that core guard with the hammer, so I don't think he's going to make it too far into the map mechanic. One of them is going to down before this. But as I mentioned, Dry Dude is a very dominant Proud Hollow, so it's going to be a tough match for Crisis, as the sustain coming from the Hollow is really going to be a bad situation for Crisis. As he's got big burst, he's not going to be able to dump a lot of that down. So here we go, Dry Dude and Crisis. Let's take a quick look. As I mentioned, Resistance, Demolisher, Sword, and Shield. And he's also running with Inventions, Alchemy, and Hollowsmith. This is your typical Prot Hollow build. Here we look at Crisis Guardian, running with the Radiance of Valor and Virtues. He's got the Hammer, which is another difference that most core guards run with Greatsword. Hammer is a little slow, but once you start to get really used to it, it can be very dominant. Sword with Focus, he's running Rune of the Lynx and Marauder, so everything is pretty much typical to core guard aside from the Hammer. Who was that? Oh, okay, here we go.
Interesting. I wonder how health insurance works without medkit.
We're about to find out. I'm going to tell them to ready.
The first round goes to Dry Dude.
So here we go into our first match, guys. We got about, let's see how many matches we have left here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more matches in our first round. Then we're going to be moving into the quarterfinals. Oh, Deucey moved into the quarterfinals as well. I see you're going to be going against No Name.
That's round 3, not the semifinals.
The quarterfinals, I mean.
Oh, okay.
So Dry Dude versus Crisis, and he's got to try to get him to use a little bit of his mitigators, and he's really got to force that Elixir S. He's not able to get that kill until he's able to force that Elixir S, and then he can really start to open up on Dry Dude whenever he wants. Right now, he's just got to be careful and try to force that Elixir S. Dry Dude's doing a really good job of putting the pressure, and you're going to see Dry Dude is one of the masters of heat management. Crisis is in a little bit of a sticky situation. He's not able to get any counter pressure onto Dry Dude. He's able to sustain a lot of this, and his healing turret's about to come up. He's standing right in the hard light arena. He is getting somewhat of a pressure onto Dry Dude, but not enough. As Dry Dude takes this one. Really good job. Moving into the second round.
Sustain and
Did my music turn off?
many options for Dry Dude to use before Crisis runs out of everything.
Exactly, and like I mentioned, Hollow just has way too much sustain. There's not enough burst damage that he's able to get on top of him, and by the time he goes through his burst, he's not able to keep the pressure up, and then Drydude can just turn and burn onto him like we saw over there. And like I said, he's got to be very, very careful. He's got to get him to use a lot of his cooldowns, especially that Elixir House. He's just got to get some big burst on him if he can somehow manage to mitigate, put that on top of him. But we'll soon find out how he's able to do that, if he's able to do that. And I'm sure Drydude's pretty high up on the ranking. Last I saw, he was. Oh, unfortunately, he's fallen a little bit. He usually pairs with, or maybe he just doesn't have enough matches. That's possible that he doesn't have enough matches.
He's at number 6.
Oh yeah, there he is, Drydude. I missed him right in the middle page, and that's just to give you an idea of how good he is. He's a very dominant Hollowsmith. Gets him in the big shockwave, goes right into the shield block. Really good combo coming out with the Hollowsmith, just putting a lot of damage. You wouldn't expect too much damage coming out of these Prod Hollows, but he does a good job of his heat management, just keeping those stacks. As you can see, he's got 24 stacks of might, and he just constantly keeps those up there. Pressuring Crisis really, really hard. I don't think there's much he can do in this situation. No, Drydude ends up taking it, and Elixir asking for that secure stomp so he doesn't get pushed back. And that's Drydude that moves forward. Our next match is, Poco.
Not to mention, Drydude's heat management gives him a lot more damage because Laser's Edge. Basically, the higher his heat, the higher his damage potential. He gets a modifier based on his heat. So the fact that he's able to maintain such high heat and not overheat really helps him in terms of his potential damage.
That's right.
I'm not sure if
the new
Poco's
update
here.
about that it's not like percent areas, it's just the exact
Well, it's
amount.
up to 15%, so it's dynamic scaling now. But yeah,
The,
so he's at 15.
Sword 3 does more quickness at higher heat too.
Yeah, no, there's actually a minor trait that the higher the heat, the more damage he does, percentage-wise. It's a minor in Hollow.
It used to be like if he's at the first area, the third area, the first
Yeah,
area,
it used
second
to
area,
be-
third area,
used
it
to
does more
be
damage. But now
tier-based,
it's like
dynamic.
Okay, guys,
now
I'm
it's
waiting
the
for
exact amount of heat.
I'm waiting for Poco to enter into the arena. If he doesn't show up, I'm gonna have one of my substitutes jump in, but I'm gonna give him about a minute to do whatever he wants. So if Soro and Deuce, you want to discuss what Nature Salad's running, or if you want to discuss anything that came up, you may do so. I'm just gonna run to the bathroom really quick. I'll be back in a minute, guys.
Alright, well, I'm looking at Nature
So
Salad.
what we have
so
here,
it's pretty standard here.
Yeah.
You have your pretty standard
Ooh,
Fire Weaver at this
he's
point.
running
yeah.
Lightning Storm. Seeing how he uses Lightning Storm.
Ooh, Glyph of Elemental Power, that's interesting. I feel like... Is he running both glyphs? No, I could just put it on temporarily. He's not running the glyph that inflicts conditions based on...
Actually,
put that on
he
for sure.
usually runs the glyph. No, he usually runs the glyph. The only meme that he put on quickly was the storm signet. Storm
No,
signet.
I know. The Storm Glyph, yeah. But he switched glyphs to his other glyph that's more standard. That's what I'm saying, yeah. Yeah, it looks fairly standard Fire Weaver, so...
Oh, shit, he's dressed a whole lot like my Manny. But mine's cooler.
So for those that don't know, the way Fire Weaver generally works, it applies a lot of condies through both Primordial Stance and the Glyph. It clears condies through Fire, also Fire gives him quite a bit of extra damage. If you look at the Fire line, Smothering Auras, whenever he puts an aura on himself, he clears Condi. Used to be Weavers, to clear Condi, they had to go Water instead of Fire. So they could get the regen to proc swiftness, swiftness to proc regen, and then regen cleared condies. But with the change to the fire trait line, it allows them to clear condies differently through auras, which allows them also to put out a lot more damage, because fire is a much more offensive line than water. You get a lot more might through the Grandmaster Pyromancer's Puissance, or however you pronounce that, Puissance? Yeah. And then
Good enough for me.
yeah, he has Burning Precision here. Some will go lesser Cleansing Fire for even more Condi clear, but against Power Rev, this makes sense.
Alright, guys, here we
Yeah,
go.
it's
Look,
like I said, it's pretty standard Fire Weaver here.
he's actually running with a
Very
Berserker.
strong build.
He's actually
Very hard
running
to
with
counter.
Rune of the Berserker and Rune of the
Lots of
Leadership.
healing, lots of barrier.
Oh, you just can't
Does
hear me?
decently against power-based builds due to the barrier and due to the plethora of healing.
Alright,
It
guys.
does really good against Condi due to the heavy clear. And welcome back, Mike.
Thank you, sir. We're actually, if you look at the brackets, guys, Poco is going to be replaced by Debo. So if you see Poco, that's actually going to be Debo. Let's take a quick look at what he's running. Looks like he's got Staff with Sword, and he's running with Berserker a little more YOLO. He's got Devastation, Invocation, and Herald. Take a quick look at Nature Salad one more time for you guys. Fire, Arcane, and Weaver. He's running with the Sword and Focus, your classic Fire Weaver build. This is going to be interesting. Debo is very susceptible to the Condis, and if he's not careful, he's going to get burnt. Ha, pun. But he's got to be able to get that big burst. He already uses Staff 5 to mitigate it, and that was kind of a good bait by Nature Salad, getting him to use that. The Shackling Wave misses, so now Nature Salad knows he doesn't have too much burst, and there's that 6 stack of burning. If he's not able to get it off, he's in big trouble. Really.
Debo had
Really needed
heal
that Glint
before
heal.
swapping, yeah.
And that's the major thing, especially with the Revenant. So you're able to use that Glint heal on the big burning that he has. So as soon as he pops that Glint with the big burning, he's able to turn and burn it on him really hard. But he's got to be able to take advantage of that, because the Glint heal does have quite a long cooldown for a heal. So he doesn't have much of an opportunity. Nature Salad did a really good job baiting him out of most of his staff evade in the beginning, just auto-attacking as much as he can. He used his Shackling Wave a little far, so he wasn't able to get that big damage, and Nature Salad knew that he wasn't going to get too hurt anymore, and especially considering most of his evade and most of his major damage has already been used. So here we go into game 2, Debo versus Nature Salad, and once again, thank you so much, Debo, for substituting for us. I really appreciate that.
The legend refusing to switch off of Berserker Amulet.
I like it though. I mean, it's one of those things, you know. It's like a signature, right?
I don't think
it's
it
also
makes...
those things. I mean, even if it doesn't help him, like, it's good practice. Like, there are a lot of classes that are power based that I'll put Berserker on just so I can practice being squishier, so that when I take Berserker off, I feel like I'm immortal.
Yeah.
Alright, guys,
You know?
here we go into game 2, Debo versus
I
Nature
did that a
Salad.
lot with Tip.
Big stun coming out from Nature Salad, getting the huge stacks of burning right away and instantly on, and tries to get the Glint Elite. He's able to clear that off pretty quickly. Now he's got to be able to get some counter pressure. If he's not able to counter pressure and keep that on to Nature Salad, he's just going to leave him the ability. Oh, there you go. Nature Salad just taking that very handedly. Good job by Nature Salad on that one.
Not to mention, I feel like if
Effort by
Debo
Debo,
was
though.
proficient at Rev, I feel like the Berserker may not have been the worst choice, because if you could get past the barrier and sustain of the Weaver, you could potentially put a lot of damage on the Weaver. So if you're looking at the logic of, do I want the fight to stall, or do I want to be able to actually kill the person, right? With the match mechanic, that's not a bad logic, per se. I'm not sure how well it would work in practice, but the logic of, you know, going burstier against the heavy sustain class is not always bad logic.
So here we go with Shiro versus iPod Touch Me. He's running with his Leadership Demolisher and his rifle. He's running your classic Tools Hollow build. And we got Shiro over here on his Deadeye. That's the special guest shoutcaster that I have with me today. Trickery, Deadly Arts, and Deadeye. He's running Rune of the Rifle, Sword, and Pistol. Marauder with a Rune of the Scholar. So here we go, game 2, game 1 in this series. I think there's one more match after this for our quarterfinal, for our first round. Then we're going to be moving into the quarterfinals. La creme de la creme. Soro's been practicing this build for a long time, and he's really good with those big immobs and those big knockdowns and being able to take big pressure. iPod Touch has got to be able to use the terrain to his fullest advantage. He's just got to try to LOS as much as he can, or stay around that corner. Yeah, exactly. He's going to use those steps to tries to get that interrupt. He does manage to get it, and he goes into Elixir S, and I think that was a good move. Now he's got to be careful about terrain here. Soro can punish him really badly over here. He's kind of waiting for him to come out of S. He gets him in the nice net. He tries to get him in the overcharge as well, but he was unavailable to get it. I'm not sure if that was LOS or he was just able to blind him or block that. And there you go. Great job by iPod Touch using the terrain to his full advantage. Even the corner of the steps, as you can see, it does create a little bit of an LOS depending on how far back he is. Tries to get the Prime Light Beam of Soro. He evades that. Oh, big pressure coming from iPod Touch.
Oh, jeez.
Beautiful execution from iPod Touch over there, seeing his little window of opportunity and taking full advantage of that. Really good job from iPod.
I feel like the map also favors iPod Touch here. There's a lot of tight spaces, narrow hallways, and LOS spots that iPod can really use to his advantage.
Also, the
to
reason
set
why
up
his
shop.
net didn't work at all is because I used a projectile block. That's what the little
Smoke field does, yeah,
smoke
that
field is.
smoke
Yeah.
Okay,
line,
really
yeah.
nice, really nice. So here we go into game 2. Let's see how Soro counters for this. He's got to be able to use that top piece. He's got to try to bait iPod into the open and then kind of port back to the higher areas where he can take advantage and punish him as he comes forward. He does have a rifle, so he does have the range, but I think the advantage will go to Soro in that long range match, and that's what he's got to try to do, force the match into his advantage. Force it into the
Just
areas.
gotta kite till map mechanic.
And that is a tactic that our opponents can use, or our participants can use if they so choose. And this is an area that he exactly wants to use. As you see, he's able to get that distance, create that big gap, and he's just got to take advantage of it. And this is a nice area too. It's a nice hallway that he can force him to come down. And there's another good job here. This is not so much in his
Beautiful
advantage.
shadow step.
Not so much in his advantage, where iPod's got the higher ground and he has a lot of LOS to his availability. He wants to be able to switch those spots with him and the iPod, so this is exactly more where he wants to be.
One thing I will point out about the match mechanic, though, while healing and stealth is disabled, straight up invulns still work. So Elixir S, Guardian Renewed Focus,
Okay.
Warrior Endure Pains, they will work. They will mitigate damage.
This might be it for me.
Yeah,
Barrier as
good
well
pressure
works.
coming out from iPod on this one. He's able to take down Soro, and I think
Cancer.
iPod is new to these. Yeah, iPod is new to this, and this is what I mentioned. Every time I get a new guy, every couple tournaments, there was one of these new guys that really impresses me, and Soro's no slouch. He's won a couple of the tournaments before, and he handedly won that one pretty well. Our next match and last match in the first round is going to be Karo versus Magic Boy.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, me too. I wonder what Karo's running. I'm not sure if she's going to be running a Revenant or if she's going to be running a Guardian. She's actually running on her Revenant.
You're like,
Sorry, Deuce?
uh,
Are you lagging or am I lagging? I think it's you lagging, Deuce.
oh, it's cleared up now. Yeah, I think it is me.
Yeah.
Voice connected is showing as green now.
Okay.
There's only Discord though. Everything else is smooth.
Okay, so here we go. Let's take a quick look at Karo, what she's running. Sword, Staff. Yeah, Rune of the Resistance and Marauder for the extra health. And the Resistance is better than Leadership, I find, because he's able to clear the Condis, but then Magic Boy is able to re-put them on. But with the Resistance, it's 4 seconds. Invocation and Devastation with Herald. And a quick look at Magic. Is he still running with that dagger? Yeah, he's still got that dagger in focus. He's got Holbrack with Celestial Amulet. Very, very interesting rune choice. Good mitigation from Magic Boy over there, avoiding most of that big damage from the Sword 3 coming out from Karo. What is he running? Very interesting build coming out of Magic Boy. But like I said, he's a very dominant Ellie, and he can get away with a lot of things that most people can't. Just because of, oh, it drops the nice AoE to force Magic Boy back. Karo doing a really good job of poking in and out and staying away from that fire, especially considering that Revenants are very susceptible to Condis. Good match so far. Let's take a quick look at Karo's cooldowns. She does have the Glint Heal coming up, and that she's going to want to use that when she gets a lot of Condi stacks on top of her. There's the big Condi stacks, great heal, great use of the Glint Heal, trying to put her as high up as you can, because Magic Boy doesn't have a lot of physical damage, but the Condi damage is very large, and waiting for a little bit of stacks on top of her to use that Glint Heal really tops her right back up. Thank you for that data. He's the robot. Your stream is fine.
Yep, and it's working fine now. It was just I think Discord had a little blip on my end, but the game wasn't lagging,
Gotcha.
so that's what threw me off.
We got about 30 seconds left and 25 seconds left to this map mechanic. Now they're going to start wanting to watch those cooldowns. She's going to probably want to use that glint heal right around that 10-second mark so she can go full ham on top of Magic Boy and try to bring his health down as far as she can just before that map mechanic comes up. There's those big stacks of burning. Abe using that glint heal perfectly, getting a big stun, using that Shiro evade to get out of it. Really good job. We got 5 seconds left in the map mechanic. There's going to be no more healing coming out of Magic Boy. So this is probably a little bit of a better situation for Karo. Tries to drop that AoE. Tries to get the glint. Does manage to get to connect on the glint, but is not able to capitalize on that little bit of a window of opportunity that she did have. They're both at really low health. She's got to watch. Oh, the poison. You got to stay away from that poison field. Good job on the clear. Magic Boy is in water, so there's not too much fear of burning coming out. She can't use her glint elite. She does know this. She does go for it either way, and here comes the AoE. It's getting really, really close. Good job so far from Karo, putting up a lot of pressure onto Magic Boy, and Magic Boy is no slouch. He's got a lot of barrier. Here comes that AoE poison. Good exchange coming out from both of them. She does have the evade, mitigates a lot of that burning damage coming out from PH Magic Boy. Oh, Lord, this is getting good. PH Magic Boy goes down, and Karo takes it. Very, very, very impressive. And he can't use his misform in this either. Shackling Wave. She's just trying to beat him down as much as he can. Karo takes game 1. That was very impressive performance. Yeah, Discord does do that sometimes. I think it's on the client-side issue. Yeah, for sure. I think so, Data Freak. Really good job from Karo on that one. Ooh, Lord. This is the last match of our first round, and it's only fitting that it's very exciting. We're going to be going into the quarterfinals, and that's going to be a lot of good matches. Then into the semifinals, we are going to have a third-place match, and our first-place match will be a best-of-5 series. Whew, really good job out of Karo on this one, sustaining all the way to the map mechanic and using it to her advantage. But I don't think PH Magic Boy is going to mess around on this one. He's still running with Sally, and he's still got Rune of the Hullbrack, and he's still got that dagger. I really appreciate Magic Boy coming out with a very unique and different build, not using what was very dominant. He is a dominant player, so I really, really, really appreciate that. Poggers. Yeah, Keo, that was really poggers. So here we go into game 2, PH Magic Boy versus Preparation Thrust. That's Karo dropping the AoE right on top of Magic Boy, forcing that evade right away. So now now we know that he's already used one of his evade frames. This is something that you got to count and keep in mind, especially against a high tier player like Magic Boy. There's big stacks of bleeding, but the burning she's being very mindful of. Good exchange from both of them, and I think she's going to try the same tactic, trying to sustain all the way until the map mechanic, using that staff to avoid a lot of that fire. And that's what she's also got to be very careful on watching his animations, making sure that when he's in fire that she kind of stays away. There's the Swirling Winds, tries to get the Shackling Wave, but is mitigated. Nice stun coming out from PH, nice Sword 3 coming out from Karo as a response to that big stun, trying to be careful not to get too many stacks of burning. Doing a really good job so far. She does have her glint heal that it's up and ready to be used, so she's just going to be waiting for those big stacks of burning on top of her. PH Magic Boy not getting too complacent here. And as you get closer to the map mechanic, they're going to want to start considering what kind of cooldowns they're going to be taking into the map mechanic. So whatever they use now, they got to be very mindful of. Good damage coming out from Magic Boy. Yeah, and Karo still does have the still has her glint heal. She's not getting too excited and not popping it too early. We got 30 seconds now. This is where they got to start being mindful of their map mechanic, and PH Magic Boy's got to be very careful. And once again, guys, this is why I like the map mechanic. It's something that you think is very one-sided. Good burst coming out from Karo up there, trying to keep the pressure. But those 3 stacks of burning really did their damage. There's 12 seconds left. I don't think they're going to be able to do, I don't think she's going to be able to use that glint heal. Magic Boy's no fool, but he does get the 4 stacks of burning. Unfortunately, she does clear the burning before the glint heal can do all of its damage. Ooh, this doesn't look good for Karo on this situation. Magic Boy really adjusting to her build and her playstyle very, very, very well. He's going to be taking this one. That's game 3 again, guys. Holy shit. Going into another game 3. Here, I'm going to post the challengebracket.com for you guys inside the Twitch chat for you. There you go. So you can follow along with us. Look at that. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sure there's others that I didn't count. 5, 6. Geez, 6 game threes. This is going to be our 7th game 3. Really, really impressive coming from all of our competitors. We have 21 competitors in this tournament today. Ooh, Lord. So here we go into game 3, guys. Let's see if Carol made any different changes to her build here. Rune of Resistance with Marauder. Nope, doesn't look like she made anything major change.
Well, just down to play style instead of
Build. And
Yeah.
I think her tactic was very wise. I think that was the most sound tactic that she could use in this situation. But PH Magic Boy is definitely prepared, and he's not going to let that happen to himself again. He's got a reputation to uphold here. He's a very dominant 1v1 player. And that was very impressive. And kudos to Carol. It's not very easy to do that to PH Magic Boy. Nice entrance with the sword, but nice stun coming out from Magic Boy. Tries to get the Shackling Wave, but doesn't manage to get that. Now she's got to be very careful with that burning. She does have her Glint Heal, I believe, to her availability, but she's in Shiro at the moment. Can't swap back. Oh yeah, this is definitely going to go to the map mechanic once again. Drops that AoE to try to get some extra, any kind of cleave, and just try to mitigate damage from Magic Boy. This is what she kind of wants, to get that distance and create that. You got 40 seconds left into the map mechanic. Nice Glint Elite. Magic Boy debating that quite well. And Glint Elite is a very, very obvious mechanic, and it's very difficult to land, especially on top of this caliber of player.
Yeah, you just gotta like hold the glint heal, blah, if you want to land it.
Really good timing on that Glint Heal. But at the same time, every time she swaps, she's clearing all those burnings and mitigating all the heal from that Glint. So it's something she's got to be very mindful. The Glint Heal isn't that long, but still, I think an extra second of burning tick would really help. It's a big chunk of health that you get to regain. Here we go into the map mechanic, and Carol's already at the disadvantage a little bit, dropping a little bit of that AoE to try to keep PH Magic Boy off her back. Tries to get that Glint Elite. Oh, if she was able to. Big damage coming up from Carol. She might eliminate him. Oh my god, she does eliminate him. Oh my goodness gracious. Lord mercy. That was really good. He might have DC'd, but I don't think so. He might have DC'd. He might.
I saw a distinct between where she was doing her damage and where he actually was.
He definitely was having issues with his matches. He was worried a little bit about DCing, so that is very possible. But I can't really reset it. It was already really deep into the match. But really good job and a very
good fight.
Yeah, really. Now
We're
we have
starting the next round already. Yep.
No Name versus Char Miracle. I believe that's No Name. Let me take a look. Yeah, let me take a quick look at his build. I believe he was running that funky, Invocation, Corruption, and Herald. And he's running with a sword axe with Mace Shield. He's got Rune of the Resistance with Carry On. Let's take a quick look at Deuce, what he's running over here. He's got Rune of the Fighter with Demolisher. He's got Great Sword with Axe and Shield. And he's got over here Strength, Tactics, and Discipline. Tries to get the Whirling Wind. He does get the Big Bull's Charge, tries to get the 100 Blades right after, but he's not able to with the Rush. Good mitigation coming out from No Name, and this is what Char Miracle wants to do, trying to keep the pressure on top of him, but he can't get too complacent and stay in front of his face for too long. He does have the Rampage, and he still has 2 calls for Great Justice. Really good job on the Trailblaze. The Trailblaze doesn't do too much damage, but it also applies that cripple, so it really helps Chark stay on top of Legend as much as he can. He does have the Bull's Charge. He does land it. Doesn't get the Whirlwind. Tries for the charge right after. Here comes the big Breaching Strike. He does land the Breaching Strike. This would probably be a perfect time for a Rampage, I believe, especially when his opponent's really low. There goes the Rampage. He gets the charge. Ooh, really good job by Legend of No Name. But this is exactly what you want to do with Rampage. It's not necessarily just to put the heavy damage, but to get your opponent to use a lot of their cooldowns. So when he comes out of a Rampage, he's got a lot to his availability. As you saw, he almost got the Breaching Strike on that one. He uses his shield just to try to close the gap a little more and try to scare Legend of a little bit. Oh, nice whirlwind from Deuce getting the win. Very, 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 very impressive from Deuce on this one. And like I said, no Legend was, he took that big burst at the beginning, and after that, it just kind of left him on the defensive, and he wasn't able to recoup. So for this match, if Legend is able to avoid most of that big damage right from the start, I think he's going to have a big advantage. But here we go into game 2. This is our first match in our quarterfinals, guys. I'll post the challengebracket.com once more into the Twitch chat so you guys can follow along with us. Here you go, sir.
I think No Name would need to switch over to a little more toughness than he currently is using. All in on vitality. She just run over here to ruin his strength.
Yeah, he's trying to go for a little more damage. I don't think the resistance was serving him too well. He's got a Pog you over here, that's what he's saying. Oh, and he's actually switched his weapons over to sword, and staff. Invocation, Corruption, and Herald. Still the same three trait lines, so he's allowed to change everything he so chooses. Tries to go for the quick Bull's Charge. He's able to mitigate a lot of that. He goes into his quick Sword 3. Gets a big knockback, but unfortunately falls off the top tier. So now he's kind of susceptible. Drops the AoE on the stairs. Just trying to gets the Glint Elite. He breaks stun right out of it and uses the shield immediately. Really good job by Char Miracle. Is expecting that big damage, especially when you land that Glint heal, the Glint Elite. He goes into Rampage a little early. Legend is able to see that from quite far away and is able to almost mitigate that entire Rampage. Another AoE drop. Now he's got to be super careful here. Legend is getting really low. He does have his Glint to his availability. Perfect execution on that Glint heal. Topping him right back to full. He does get the Shackling Wave, but there's so much sustain coming out of Deuce. It's like the Shackling Wave just tickled him quite. Tries to get the Bull's Charge once more. Gets another big Glint Elite. Drops the AoE right on top of him. Good pressure coming from Legend. Nice job using that staff to mitigate a lot of the damage. Keeping good pressure up onto Deuce. He's got to be careful though. Wasted a lot of his AoE and Shackling Wave right onto Deuce's shield. He's able to fully resustain with the Glint. This doesn't look good for Deuce. Nice block on the Bull's Charge. Got him on a big stun. Now Deuce is running. He was almost getting the mending on that one. Really good job by Legend. And oh my goodness, guys. First match in their quarterfinals is another game 3. Holy moly. This is a really, really, really good 1v1 that we're having today. We have 21 participants, guys. 150 gold going to be given out in prizes to first, second, and third place. We are having a third place match. And our finals match is going to be a best of 5. And that's exactly right.
It's going to come down to how well Deus mitigates the Revenant's ability to heal. Navius 101.
Definitely, and Deuce was able to resustain him, I think, twice on that big whirlwind and that big arcing slice. And that's one other disadvantage with Warriors. They have a lot of big burst 1 moves. So if he's not very attentive on the Glint heal, and he's able to pop the Glint heal on an arcing slice or even a whirlwind, that's big, big healing coming for Legend of No Name. Oops, sorry guys. Here we go into game 3. Deuce has got to be very careful. He gets it. Oh, nice dodge on the Glint. He was able to get the whirlwind as well. He goes into Rampage really quickly. Tries to get him in the stuns, but Legend of No Name still has a lot of mitigation in his toolkit. But at the same time, this is exactly what he wants him to do. Try to use a lot of his mitigators. Nice on the Trailblaze, and he also gets him on the return. Tries for the rush, but doesn't get it. He does have the Bull's Charge, doesn't get it. Good job by Legend avoiding that. He gets him in the Breaching Strike. Really good job by Deuce taking this one away. That was a really good combo at the end. And the Rampage, like I mentioned, forced a lot of his cooldowns. So now we have Dry Dude versus Nature's Salad. This is going to be a good one. Holy moly. Dry Dude versus Nature's Salad. And I don't know if this is really going to favor Nature's Salad because the Prod Hollow has so much cleanse. And the Weaver doesn't have too much in the way of Condi cover. So he's only got maybe a vulnerability, a bit of bleeding, a bit of poison.
He'll probably switch over to his power build.
Maybe he will. Let's take a quick look at what he's running.
For mine.
No, he's still staying with Sage. He's got Sage Amulet with
Oh no,
Eagle.
but he has Eagle runes.
Yep.
Up the precision and power base.
Exactly. So he's just going to try to get that big damage. So he's trying to combo, I guess, with a bit of power and a bit of Condi. So he can kind of keep both ends of the pressure onto Dry Dude. This is a tall order for Nature's Salad. He's just got to be really careful. He's got to try to proc that Elixir S. And he's got to try to proc that Hard Light Arena. As soon as the Elixir S and Hard Light are out, he's going to have a little bit of an advantage. Or a little more of an advantage. And he's got to be able to really time when that healing turret goes down and be able to make sure that once he pops that healing turret, you know, that's the time to start burning and turning. But it's going to be really difficult, especially to try to get him to use a lot of his cooldowns without going through too much of your burst. Say tall order. There's that Hard Light Arena. Uses the Prismatic Singularity on him. Nature's Salad's in a little bit of trouble. He's standing right in there. I would try to avoid it a bit. Try to get out of that Hard Light Arena. Goes right into using his Elite Mortar Kit. Dumping a lot of damage. Good sustain coming out from Nature's Salad. Sitting in water. Tries to get some more burnings on top of Dry Dude, but he clears it very quickly. And that's another major issue coming from Prod Hollow. Or towards like Nature's Salad to Dry Dude. Because that burning turns into Aegis. So when he tries to get him with the second combo, he's just going to Aegis it. He's got the Rune of Resistance up and Dry Dude knowing, so he's not getting too worried. This one's probably going to the map mechanic again. I'm sure the swirling winds are up. He's trying to mitigate any projectile hate. Hard Light Arena again. Nature's Salad's got to try to kite him out of there. And Dry Dude smells the blood. Gets him in the nice Prismatic Singularity. Dry Dude's pretty good at using that Prismatic Singularity. He's been running Prod Hollow or Hollow for a long time, or Engineer in general for a long time, so he knows the ins and outs of this build very well, where the strengths and weaknesses lie. Nature's Salad's in a little bit of trouble here. He's at half health, but he can resustain. He doesn't have much left in his toolkit. I think he still has a Twist of Fate. Yeah, Twist of... No, that's Weave Self, sorry. He doesn't even have Twist of Fate. My apologies. I guess he wasn't too concerned from the big damage that potentially could be coming out of Dry Dude, but you haven't seen too much. Just a lot of chain attacks to try to burst him down. Oof, that was pretty nice as well. Nature's Salad taking quite a little bit of a beating. Not getting the better of the exchanges. He's going to want to top up before the map mechanic. We got 3 seconds left. Oh, this is going to be favoring Dry Dude. He's got to be really careful, but now his short cooldown on the heal won't be to his availability. And you can proc a lot of damage, a lot of extra bursts from that just by using combos in the water field. Good exchange coming out from both of them. He's got to get some big burnings onto Dry Dude to know if he wants to take the advantage here. He has been...
Yeah, a family member came into my room middle of that, right before my match and said, do you want to help me with something? I'm like, yeah, I'll probably be able to, you know, I'm probably going to lose this next match anyways. And then I won it.
Good job, Deuce. And that's a really good job. That's a really good job by Dry Dude, putting the Hard Light Arena in a small little spot. But this is an epic match so far, going down all the way to the cooldown. Really impressive performance coming from Nature's Salad, especially considering that's a Prod Hollow with a lot of Condi clear, and he's running with a Fire Weaver. Really good job. I'm very excited to see what the second match is going to bring. This is our second match in the quarterfinals, guys. Our next match...
really interesting to point out with Dry Dude is he usually lets his heat hit all the way up to 100%, so I think he's been really wary about the ping issues to make sure that doesn't go over, so he's been stopping it a little bit early.
This is very true. You usually do see him just hovering around that full heat. He's a master of heat mitigation. Our next match after this is going to be Late versus Lighter, and Late has been doing a really good job. I haven't seen him in any of my tournaments, so I've been powering through, and he's also had to do the first round, the second round. Now he's going into our quarterfinals. So here we go again with game 2, Nature Salad versus Dry Dude, and that could have gone any way. If Nature Salad was able to resustain himself just before the mat mechanic and stay topped up at 100%, I think that match would have gone a little different. Mind you, maybe he would have been 50-50. It's hindsight. Sorry guys, I was just reading map chat and guild chat. So I'm going to watch Dry Dude for this one. There he's already trying to get his heat as high up as he can. Drops the stealth. Tries to get the Photon Blitz right away, but he goes into invuln. Really good job by Nature Salad, mitigating a lot of that big opener from Dry Dude. He does get caught in the Shockwave and the Prismatic Singularity. Now he's just got to try to kite him away from that as much as he can. He doesn't want to be wasting a lot of his burst on him when he's inside that hard light arena. Good exchange coming out from both opponents. Nice adjustment coming out from both opponents. Dry Dude not getting too excited or too complacent. Kind of just sitting back and letting him go through a lot of his fire skills. Using that mortar kit just to try to pew as much as he can and try to keep that pressure on top of him. There's the 6 stacks of burning, but he's not spec'd into Connie, so it won't do too much damage. Nice cleave coming out from Dry Dude on this one. Nature Salad's in a little bit of trouble. He does get barrier, and he's almost at full health again. Ooh, nice job from Dry Dude, just chunking him really hard. And that Prismatic Singularity once again, trying to stay on top of Dry Dude as much as he can, but the burning he didn't notice. He actually forces him into the Elixir S, is exactly what he wants to do. He's still standing in that hard light arena, which is not the greatest idea for Nature Salad, but he is trying to take advantage of that last little bit of health that he had, trying to keep the pressure up, and he just sacrificed running into the damn
Good burst on Dry.
If I need a substitute, Naru, I will get you in for a sub, though. Unfortunately, you are a little late. We're already starting the quarterfinals, but if I need a sub, I will definitely call upon you, man. Thank you so much. And tomorrow is going to be a 2v2, Naru, so if you're interested in that, my friend, 2v2 tomorrow. So here we go. Dry Dude is in a big trouble over here. Nature Salad's doing a really good job, and he's going to want to kind of keep him at this health. He's got the turret coming right up, though. He's going to be able to resustain back to full, comboing really well in that water field, dropping another hard light arena, but at least now he doesn't have to contend with that. Nature Salad drops the Swirling Winds to try to mitigate any of that projectile. Good stun coming out from Nature Salad. He pops that Elixir S, and this is a good situation. He's got the Hard Light Arena used. He's got the Elixir S that's been used. So now he's very susceptible. He's just got to wait for that. He's just got to go. Doesn't manage to get him in the Shockwave. Dry Dude's in a little bit of a sticky situation. Nice counter from Dry Dude, keeping the pressure up. Nature Salad's got to get a bit of burning here. Good damage coming out from Dry Dude. Oof, oof, oof. That was fucking amazing. Really good job from both contestants. Dry Dude taking that one. Our next match coming up, guys, is going to be Late versus Lighter. And Late is a new guy I have never seen, and he's been doing really, really good so far. I'm very curious to see how far he gets. And now Nature Salad, now Lighter is going to be one of the harder contenders that he's fought. He actually did fight my Alak. No, he fought someone else. It was Kate. It was Bounty's replacement. Thank you so much again, Bounty, for bringing in that replacement. Now it's Late versus Lighter. There's iPod Touch Me, and Lighter is going to be using his Warrior, I believe he's still in here. Okay, we're going to give Lighter 1 second. He's just on the phone, guys. Let's take a quick look at iPod Touch Me one more time. He's running Rune of the Leadership with Demolisher, and he's got Rifle. His regular tools hollow. A Photon Wall, and the Photon Wall can be very, very, very dangerous. And they've made some slight nerfs to Hollowsmith, which I really like, especially one to the Shockwave, reducing the radius a lot, and as well the Corona burst damage, so making them a lot less scary when they come into the team fights. And when they do these type of patches or these type of things to these type of classes, it really opens up the other classes to come in and start shining. I believe PvP's in a really, 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 really good spot right now. They're making a lot of good changes, and I hope they continue on this path. It's making PvP a lot more enjoyable to watch, a lot more enjoyable to shoutcast, and it's bringing out a lot of different builds that we haven't seen before. So I'm super curious to see what's going to be coming up, and this is why I like doing the 1v1s as well. I did a 1v1 as soon as the patch hit, and we saw a lot of funky builds, and hopefully we continue to see some patches. I think the last one that really needs to be patched is staff beef. He's got the photon wall up to mitigate a lot of that damage coming out from the lighter. The lighter trying to stay on top of him. He gets caught in that shockwave, but breaks the stun immediately right after. Going on to that no port spot, but I don't think that's going to serve him well. Gets him in the big prime light beam. Gets him in the emote from the net shot. Tries to get the jump shot as well. That would have been a beautiful combo coming out from Touch Me. He's got a lot of work to put in. Tries to get the shockwave, but I think he actually falsified on that shock just to try to get lighter to use some of his cooldowns. Nice dodge on that Bull's charge, I believe. Doing a really good job late. I don't know if this is his alt account or something, but I've never seen this guy, and he's a fucking monster. Nice job with that Photon Blitz. He does have his Photon Wall and his Stealth if he so chooses to use it. And this good sustain coming out from the lighter. Just surviving through a lot of that damage. He's not able to counter pressure. And like I mentioned, that's the thing with Warriors. It only takes 1 second, one big move to get that damage down. He tries to get the Prime Light Beam. Good job by Lighter. Not getting too caught, not getting too worried. Not getting too complacent, just staying even under pressure. He was very calm, making sure he's not burning through too many of his cooldowns, and he was able to get that big eviscerate on top of onto the lighter, chunking him really, really good. Oof, and as I mentioned, the lighter is definitely a strong contender. He's been in a lot of my tourneys. He usually makes it to the semifinals or into the finals, but there's a lot of dudes like that in this tournament that always make it to the semifinals or the finals, but it's only, unfortunately, one person that can win. And keep in mind, guys, we are having a third place match, and our first place match is going to be a best of 5 series.
Mike, you should totally check out map chat right now. You'll like what I'm typing.
Pogo sticks.
It's pronounced Pog-O sticks.
Exactly.
So here we go into game 2 of this match, I believe. iPod's got him, maybe able to, he did a really good job at the beginning, keeping heavy pressure onto the lighter, but he just was able to sustain and get through a lot of his bursts. And once iPod went through a lot of his bursts, he didn't have anything left. He doesn't have too much in the way of mitigation aside from that photon wall and the Elixir S. Good job by iPod though, making sure to stay away and forcing him to come to him. And this is a tactics he can use if he wants to. Now he's going to go in for it. He tries to get the Trailblaze. He tries to get the Whirlwind as well. But great job by iPod using that obstruction. And as I mentioned, the Warriors don't have a lot of jumps or anything of that way to get rid of the obstruction. So it's a really good use. He doesn't necessarily have to use the... gets him in the overcharge and just popping him from far. Tries to get the jump shot, gets in a little close. He's able to mitigate that. He kind of baited him into using it. He gets him in the shockwave. Tries to get him in the prime light beam. Good dodge by the lighter. He's already used it. Oof, here comes the Elixir S. This is a really good spot for the lighter. Full health, and the iPod has already used his Elixir S. He's got almost 0 left in the way of cooldowns. He wasn't able to combo inside that water field at all. He does use gets him in the overcharge, creating a little more distance, and that healing turret's on a very, very, very short cooldown. So he's able to resustain if he just can kite a little longer. Nice shockwave work.
Huge.
Really nice shockwave once again coming out from the lighter. Oof, but iPod's taking that big damage. He's able to get the proc on the healing turret with the photon wall. Gets him in the big overcharge. Now he's just popping him from far. He's just got to try to keep that cleave on top of him as much as he can. And the lighter, is he running with Mending or is he running with Signet? No, he's actually running to the limit. Very, very, very interesting. That's a huge heal. On top of it, though, it's half his health in one heal. What is the cooldown on that bad boy? We got 24 seconds. That's super impressive. Now they're kind of standing away from each other. We got 5 seconds left in this map mechanic. I think this is going to benefit iPod Touch in this one. Let's see how this turns out.
It's super bad if iPod lets this go to map mechanic.
Yeah, they rely heavily on the heal turret heal. and blast finish.
Oh, it's finished now.
Off, and he's even used his
Just used.
Elixir
Once they
S.
finished, it's gonna still be tough.
Gets him in the prime light beam. He's got to be able to get that big pressure. He does have the frenzy, and he can't get any heal from the shout, but he does have the frenzy that he can use. His rampage is coming up in 9 seconds, but I don't think it's going to be enough time. He tries to use his heal, and he's been in
It
the...
gives him full adrenaline though, so it's a smart move.
Exactly. As I was about to mention, he's been in a lot of my tournaments, so he's no slouch. He understands how the bat mechanic works. Really good job by the lighter, ending late little tyrant through the brackets. But really good job by you, Late. Thank you so much for joining. Really impressive performance. I like seeing new guys, and I really appreciate you coming out and trying it, man. I do these almost every single day, so don't be shy to whisper me and say, hey, we doing a tourney? I will definitely tell you. Ooh, here we go. Dark Opium versus Carol. Master versus Teacher. I see them running a lot together. This is our last match in the semifinal, in the quarterfinals, guys. Then we're going to be moving to the semifinals. So last match in the quarterfinals, then moving into the semis. Preparation Thrust versus VK Hazard. Show you guys. I'm just going to grab me some candy.
Mike, you have to read map chat.
Alright, dude, I feel like we should establish a safe word.
I'm gonna be fighting him next round. I've been saying please use lube and gloves. No.
Alright, guys, here we go into game 1. Preparation Thrust. We saw them running with the Invocation, Devastation, and Herald, irregular Revenant build, Sword, Staff. Running with Rune of the Strength and Marauder. VK Hazard running on his Core Warrior with Tactics, and these are the new changes that we've seen. Great Sword with Axe Shield. He's running with Leadership with Demolisher. Good job putting that AoE on the no port spot. Tries to get him in the World one, but he does have weakness on top of him, so it's just glancing. VK Hazard just poking, prodding, and using that no port spot. Gets him in the Bull's Charge. He's able to mitigate that and stun break. Just some AoE, so he tries to mitigate some of that melee damage. He's a little afraid that AoE from Revenants do a lot of damage. Nice job from Carol using that Sword 3 to try to mitigate everything she can. Tries to get the Glint Elite, but it's to no avail. Goes into the Rampage, and that's a really well-timed Rampage. Carol's already really low, and now it's going to force her to use a lot of her mitigators. There goes a lot of the Staff 5 right there. Here's the Staff 3. So now she's literally got not much left. She does have the Sword 3, which she's just used. And now she's in big trouble. Big whirlwind from VK Hazard. Unfortunately, he was a little far. I don't know how that rush connected, but he did. He gets him in the Arcing Slice and finishes this one. That's VK Hazard taking game 1. Really impressive performance coming out of VK. Sorry, guys.
I like how Jaido didn't even reply to that.
So here we go into game 2. VK Hazard versus Carol. And Carol is Preparation Thrust. That's an interesting name.
It's an actual name of a skill. It's a warrior skill, preparation, or rose skill.
Go ahead. Hit me.
Final thrust.
Yeah, final thrust is the warrior one, but I think there's a skill called preparation thrust.
So here we go. Let's see how Preparation adjusts to this. And that was a really good job by VK Hazard, baiting her into using a lot of her mitigators and a lot of her cooldowns. Goes into Sword 3 right away. And that was good timing by Carol using that Sword 3 just after that shield was going to proc off. Gets the big AoE on top of him, forcing him to back off. She still does have her Glint heal. I would use her right now. It's anytime he tries to get close. Oof. This is big danger over here.
Auto.
Ends up landing the Glint Elite. I don't think if she was able to use the Glint heal. But that's the thing again with Warriors, they can do so much burst damage. Really good job by Carol getting some counter pressure. Pops the glint heel, but VK has her noticing that right away. Able to mitigate that, not let her get any health, and I think that was the deciding factor in that match. So that's VK. Oh, now we're starting our first match in the semifinals, guys. Our first match in the semifinals is going to be Deuce versus Dry Dude. First match in the semifinals.
Oh god, I'm so dead.
Fuck my dude.
I'll take this time to shamelessly promote, guys. If you like this type of content, I do this every single day. Take a look at my highlights videos. I'm very new to shoutcasting. I've only been doing this for about a month and a half. But if you like this type of stuff, click that follow, click that subscribe, and you'll be able to know when I go live. Like I said, I do these every single day. So Dry Dude versus Char Miracle. Dry Dude is running that Prod Hollow, Sword Shield with Rune of Resistance and Demolisher. He's got Inventions, Alchemy, and Hollow Smith. And we got Deuce on the other side running a Core Warrior with Tactics, Strength, and Discipline. He's running with Great Sword, Axe, and Shield. Rune of the Fighter with Demolisher Amulet. Good job by Dry Dude. Char Miracle just trying to force him into close quarters. Now he's trying to bait him out a bit. He is stuck with that cripple. Tries to get the axe throw. He doesn't want to stand inside that harder line arena. He does go on the rampage. Good job by Dry Dude blocking that with his shield. Dropping the big kick and the rock throw. Virtually mitigating that entire rampage with only using one of his skills. And that's a utility, a weapon skill on top of it. With the big block and then just using...
Up by days to avoid that little interrupt toss that Dry was trying to do there.
Yeah, very good. Keeping the heavy pressure onto him. The Photon Blitz in the back. Tries to get the Whirl of the Wind right after on top of him, but he's not able to connect. Dry Dude just keeping the pressure onto to Char Miracle, but as I mentioned, it's always very dangerous. I think he was able to land that Arcing Slice or that Breaching Strike. Nice Whirlwind. Tries to get him with the Rush. And there's the Hard Light Arena with the Prismatic Singularity and the combo with the Healing Turret. And the Dry Dude, the healing is so strong. And he's able to get that Healing Turret to proc really quickly. As I mentioned, it's only on a 20-second cooldown. You can probably get anywhere from 8 to 10k, depending on how many combos you can blast inside of it. We got 25 seconds left in the map mechanic, and this is where they want to start considering a lot of their cooldowns. Let's see what Deuce has. He does have the Rampage, which is going to proc at exactly the same time as the map mechanic does, so that's a huge advantage going over to Char Miracle. And as I mentioned, there's no healing at the end of the map mechanic, and there's no stealth at the end of the map mechanic. So this is going to be highly in favor of Char Miracle. As you can see, those healing turrets are proccing all the time. So here we go into our map mechanic. He does use his heal, and he pops right into Rampage right away. Dry Dude's very prepared.
No,
and he got
huge.
Yeah, he definitely got cucked by the terrain on that one, guys. Ooh, Lord, that was terrible.
Everything.
Trying to get he does have the Bull's Charge about to come up. He tries to go for the Whirlwind, Prismatic Singularity. Does get the Bull's Charge with the Arcing Slice. Gets him in the big rush too. Really good combo from Deuce. Dry Dude's in big trouble here. He's got to be really careful. He goes into Elixir S. Oh, he tries to get the Whirlwind, but he's got to be really careful. He gets the Trailblaze. And he gets Dry Dude down. Really impressive performance by Char Miracle on this one. He's just trying to cleave him down to the ground. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get knocked back into that. Dry Dude trying to get the down. Really good job by Deuce on that one. Very impressive performance. Ooh, Lord. Really good job. I did not expect that, but very impressive from Deuce. Getting a really good combo near the end. We all started off with that big Bull's Charge and the Arcing Slice and then the rush right into it. And then uses a Trailblaze from a distance away. And Trailblaze is very tricky. I've seen Trailblaze go down steps, go down big walls. I've seen it even turn a corner once. You always got to keep an eye on Trailblaze. And that's also
blazing some kind of trail somewhere.
It's also one of the disadvantages that Dry Dude does have. Most of his matches are going to be forced into a 1v1. He's not able to put enough pressure to kind of finish the match early unless he's against something a little squishier. Tries to go quickly for the Photon Blitz. Now, Char Miracle's got a little bit of that momentum now, and he's got a little bit of that excitement knowing that he's already beat him. He could eliminate him and start moving into the finals. He's just hunting him down on this one. Good job by Char Miracle just using that. And he goes into the Rampage, tries to turn and burn on him, but Dry Dude is always prepared. And he procced it really, really close to him, but you can hear the animation, so you can get prepared. Oh, nice Bull's Charge, nice Arcing Slice. Tries to get him in the 100 blades, but he actually stuns him with the shield. Nice counter pressure. And that healing turret is so strong. Tries to get him in that big whirlwind again, which he does manage. He's trying to mitigate the damage. Throws out the whirlwind with the Arcing Slice, but he's not able to catch.
Great example of how balanced the game is right now. Because I think we were all in agreement that Dry Dude's pretty unkillable.
Yeah, exactly.
Just days. Ah, it's beautiful.
And that's another reason, like I mentioned, guys, why I like the map mechanic. In a match that you think is going to be very one-sided, that map mechanic changes the entire dynamic of the duel. Gets him in that big Bull's Charge, big Arcing Slice. He's not able to capitalize any more than that. There's just so much sustain coming out of Dry Dude. It's going to be really difficult. But he's able to sustain all the way to the map mechanic, and he's keeping the pressure up onto Dry Dude. Really good job by Deuce. He's at half health. He's going to want to kind of keep that pressure up onto Dry Dude as much as he can, so when it goes into the map mechanic, he's not able to heal up.
Right here.
He needs it. This is going to be huge. No, there's that. He tried to get it.
Oh, that was so good by Deuce.
Yeah. Goes into Rampage and proccing the Elixir S. This is really good news for Deuce. And he's able to get him to use a lot of his CC. He doesn't have any more of his cooldowns. He doesn't have that turret. Nice shockwave from Dry Dude, just keeping the heavy pressure onto Deuce. This doesn't look good. He's actually able to down him. Really impressive performance coming out. Heading off to sleep, but want to do gold giveaway before anyone in chat. Ooh, gold giveaway.
Crap, dude, with the BM. Crashing.
For anybody in chat, there's a gold giveaway. Zerus is doing it right now. So if you want, guess a number from 1 to 100. Closest guess wins 50 gold. Ooh, I'm going to participate too. I'm going to do 61. So guys, if you want to participate in the gold giveaway, just type in chat any number from 1 to 100, and the closest one to what Z has chosen, you will get the gold. It's 50 gold that she's going to be giving away just before she goes to bed. I really appreciate that, Z. Thank you so much. And keep in mind, guys, Z is the guild leader for AL. Very, very, one of the best guild leaders I've ever met. Thank you so much, Z. You're fucking awesome. So gold giveaway going off in chat right now, guys. Dry Dude going up with the Photon Blitz really quick. Tries to get him in the Shockwave, but he's able to stun him in that. Gets him in the big rush. And he's already rampaged. Good job by Dry Dude mitigating most of that damage with his shield, or the major damage from that shield, and turning and burning back onto Deuce. And I think he kind of used that rampage, so he knows by the time the map mechanic comes, he will have it to his advantage again once more. Misery with a 69. Oh, nice big 100 blades onto Dry Dude, but he's got so much resustain, it's going to be ridiculous. The only way he can... Oh, another big breaching strike and big damage onto Dry Dude. He's not too worried. He goes into the Whirling Wrath, or the Whirlwind. Tries to get the Trailblaze. Oh, Deuce is trying to just get away now. He knows he doesn't have much left in his tank, and he doesn't want to get countered, and he did go in stealth, so he wasn't entirely sure where he was. Really good job by Deuce, keeping that heavy pressure onto him. Did he make any changes to his build? No, it doesn't seem like it. Really good job so far coming out from Char Miracle. Very impressive performance, especially considering Dry Dude is number 6 on our leaderboard so far. He uses that Prod Hollow Leg Egg Master. Dude's got to be careful. There's still about 35 seconds left in this map mechanic. In about 10 seconds from now, they're really going to want to start to consider what type of cooldowns they have left. And as I mentioned, Deuce used that Rampage right at the beginning, so now he has access to it at the end. Dry Deuce taking a little bit of damage. That Mending is ready. He's going to wait for it. The Mending is on a 12-second cooldown. I think he's going to be able to proc it one more time just before the end. And it's going to be going to the map mechanic once more. And most of Dry Dude's duels do go there. He just doesn't have that damage to finish them too early. Deuce trying to land that Rampage, but he's not able to. Very unsuccessful. He goes again with the Rock Throw. He uses the heal just as it goes off. He goes into the Rampage. He's not able to get any of that. He does get the Rock Throw, and he pops the Elixir S again. And this is exactly what you want to see. He's just trying to cleave as much as he can. Getting some good cleave. He's in a good situation. He gets him in the Whirlwind already. Dry Dude's trying to get him away. He gets him in the rush and the Bull Charge. Arctic Slice, 100 Blades. Dry Dude's in big trouble here. He goes into the Hardlight Arena. He's got 1% health left. And Char Miracle ends up defeating Dry Dude. Oh my god. Really, really, really good job on that one. Duress is closing the gold giveaway very soon. If you haven't guessed, 1 to 100 to win 50 gold, guys. Anyone who gets closer to it. Really good job by Deuce, and especially a good tactic using that Rampage right away at the beginning of the match, knowing that he's going to have it again for near the end. Really, really, really good job by Deuce on that one. It was a 2-1 series.
I didn't know if anyone would notice.
So now we have Lighter versus Dark Opium, guys. Lighter versus Dark Opium. Let me just type that in map chat. Lighter versus Dark Opium. And I think this is going to be Warrior versus Warrior.
So, Deuce, how's it going with that family member that you needed to help because this is almost over?
Pissed at me, but I'm hoping I can win before they pull like the internet cable or something. Oh god, they're probably so bad. I told them I'd help them like 2 hours ago. I did not expect I would get this far.
So here we go, guys, with our second match in our semifinals. This is going to be Lighter versus VK Hazard. He's got Fighter, Root of the Fighter, Demolisher. He's got Great Sword with Axe and Warhorn. He's got Root of the Strength, Discipline, and Tactics. Let's take a quick look at VK Hazard. And you're going to be seeing Tactics all over in Warriors right now. He's running a slightly, very similar Tactics build. But he's running on this side with Root of the Leadership, Demolisher, Great Sword, Axe, and Shield. Hey, where did my music go? Yeah, I thought Dry Dude would have had that too, but Deuce pulling out the big upset. Really good job by Deuce on that one. Very impressive performance. Stellar performance, if anything. Oh, the winner was Pneumatics with a guess of 22. Number was 23. Grats, Pneumatics. So this is going to be a battle of, really good combo coming out from VK Hazard. And this is all about baiting. He already goes into the Rampage right away, making Lighter use a lot of his mitigation, and he counters with his own Rampage. Oh, really good job. Good exchange from both opponents. Nice countering. Pops the shield right away, but he's not running with shield. He's running with Axe Lighter? Axe Warhorn, excuse me, yeah. Tries to get that Trailblaze, and you can see that Trailblaze is really funky. It'll go down, up the stairs, it'll go in any direction. Oh, nice big breaching strike. I don't think that was a breaching, that was Eviscerate, sorry. Oh, nice Whirlwind. This is going down to the wire right here. He does have the Frenzy's Twist availability. He's got to use it. Oh, really good patience coming out from Lighter over here. VK Hazard's in a little bit of trouble. He does have that Eviscerate. If he's able to land it, he tries to go for it, but he's a little too far. He still has that Frenzy. He's waiting for it. Tries to land the Trailblaze, but he doesn't. Good job by VK Hazard, just creating a little bit of distance. Tries to get him in that Bull's Charge, but he breaks it right away. Tries the Eviscerate again, and he misses. Those Eviscerates are going to be clutch. He's going to need to land those and be a little closer.
I
Gets
like
it.
how the only people left in this tourney are core warriors with tactics.
And that goes to show you. Well, let's see what they usually do with patches. If they make a big patch change to one of the classes, they'll usually make them a little strong so people play them a little more. And then eventually in the next patch, they'll tone them down just a little bit. Really good exchange
like,
coming. Sorry, dudes,
all the
hold on,
tactical
hold on.
warriors are running something slightly different.
Yeah, that is really nice. Now, there's no more cooldown. Oh, really good job by VK Hazard. Oh, Lighter did have the rampage, but he wasn't able to use it in time. And thanks again, Desi, for the gold giveaway. I really appreciate that. You're fucking awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Z. She'll usually come in when I'm doing a tourney and do a gold giveaway or a skin giveaway. So I really appreciate that. And once again, big ups if you ever see her. She's the leader of AL, one of the best PvP guilds that you'll see in Guild Wars 2 NA right now. Sorry guys, I'm just eating my candy.
What kind of candy is it? That's the question.
It's those little. That's a mixed bag. I got watermelons. I got fuzzy peaches.
Nice.
That was a really good exchange. That was a really good battle coming up from both of them. A lot of countering, a lot of repressuring, a lot of back and forth. Good exchanges. They come in close, try to do all their bursts as fast as they can, and then peel out from each other to get a little bit of distance and get a little bit of their cooldowns. He is running to the limit. I think he was running with Mending before. I'm not sure. No, I think it was still to the limit. And VK Hazards is running with his Signet. He does have Frenzy, his Shout Heal. Very similar builds. He goes right into the Rampage. Let's see if VK is able to counter with the Rampage. And I think he's waiting just a little longer until he uses it, just so he can wait for Lighter to get out of his cooldown from... No, he's actually waiting for it for the perfect time. Nice Bulls Charge. Tries to get the Eviscerate, but doesn't land it. There's the Rampage. He is able to dodge that rock throw. Big charge coming out from VK. Keeping the heavy pressure onto to Lighter. Oh, this is dangerous right here. He does have the Eviscerate. He lands it. Oof, big whirlwind. The Trailblaze up top. I mean, that's the thing with Trailblaze. That thing fucking travels. It's like a goddamn boomerang.
Really glad to see VK following the Book of Warrior of swap to Greatsword, hit 3.
That's pretty much what it is. VK Hazard's in a little bit of trouble. He doesn't have the advantage of that big heal. And he probably should have opted for that because the Signet is just such a small heal and Lighter does so much damage. I believe this is a 1-1 series so far, right? Impressive. We've had, I think, 12 Game 3 series. And both of our semifinals have been Game 3 series. This is very, very, very... And we are having a third place match, guys. So right after this, we're going to be doing third place. And then after that, we're going to be moving into first place match.
Maybe we should do the first place match first so Deus can get back to his family.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Nah, don't worry about it. Like, I signed up for the tourney. I'll have to stick through it. Or be disqualified.
So here we go into Game 3, VK Hazard versus La Lighter. I don't think he's made any 2 changes. Yeah, there you go. That's a really good change by VK Hazard using to the limit. The Signet was just not doing anything from this. Just too much damage for it to even do it or keep up with him. If against something maybe a little softer, yeah, you'll have the advantage, but look at that, using using the obstruction to his full advantage. Nice big burst coming out, and there you go. He's right back up to full. And I think this exchange is going to be a little better. Good exchanges coming out from both of them, really showing off what Tactic Warriors are available or are capable of. Nice chain attack by VK Hazard on that one. Tries to get the Bull's Charge, doesn't land, but tries to go for the Eviscerate, doesn't land. Oh, VK Hazard's in a little bit of trouble. They both rampage at the exact same time, just going ham. It's a good old-fashioned slobber knocker right here, man. Just punching each other in the face as hard as they can. Really good job coming up from both opponents on this one. And VK Hazard able to fully resustain. That's exactly what I mentioned about the Signet. Oh, big damage coming out from the lighter. VK's in big trouble here. He's got to be able to mitigate. He uses the shield to try to get away, creating a little bit of distance. Nice dodge roll. Tries to get the bull's charge, but doesn't land it. It's just one little blow that lighter needs to do, and he can take this. This is game 3. Oh, he ends up winning it. Good job, lighter. Really, really impressive performance.
I thought I was watching Guild Wars, not Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I know, right?
And that's lighter that takes it, moving into the
though.
finals. And as I mentioned, all those guys,
really cool.
all those guys in the semifinals, yeah, slobber knocker data, and all these guys in the quarterfinals were all guys who usually get to the semifinals or farther. But there's no choice. There's 8 of you, and only 2 of you can come to the finals. Only 4 of you can get to the semis. Really impressive performance. This is a really, really nice 1v1 to start off the week, guys, here. So now we have our 3rd place match, which is VK Hazard versus Dry Dude. Dry Dude going against going in against another Tactics Warrior. I think we found the counter to Dry Dude. But then again, keep in mind, it's the map mechanic that's making the major difference. He has so much sustain, and he can get through that easily. Sorry, Deuce, go ahead.
I really want Dry Dude to like completely like destroy him just so I feel better about myself.
It's that map mechanic that makes a huge difference, and that's why I like implementing it. That's why I don't like it.
To how much Dry Dude is able to consistently land all his auto attacks, because I noticed in his match against you, you were able to really stay out of just auto attack range, and it really upped your survive. So it's gonna majorly depend on that. All that Ranger gameplay is really paying off here.
I know, right?
That's a good idea, Data Freak and Soro. I think I'm gonna make that into an MO.
What a slobber knocker!
I used to watch wrestling a lot, and Vince McMahon uses that a lot. And
I think I may have mentally hurt Dry Dude in his fight against Warriors.
maybe.
I gave him a mental block. That's just what I want to think at
suffering
least.
from PTSD and he just can't fight this anymore. I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
It's too scary.
You are so right about that Hollow 5 looking like a little temper tantrum now.
I know, right?
As I thought, guys, this is going to go to the map mechanic for sure, and this is where things are going to start to really get interesting. And Dry Dude, like I said, he doesn't have the damage to be able to finish the matches, so he always gets stuck in this funny situation. Now VK Hazard's got all of his cooldowns, they're both at full health, and this is where the duel really starts to happen. Really good burst. Now Dry Dude's in a lot of trouble here. He just doesn't have the sustain anymore. That healing turret is his main sustain. He gets so much heal from it, and without it, he just doesn't have the damage. He's not able to keep the pressure up. Oof, really good combo from VK Hazard here. He's gone into the rampage. He misses the rock throw on the corner of that ledge. Dry Dude's in big trouble here, using a lot of his mitigators to get through this. VK Hazard might get it. Dry Dude's in big trouble. He tries to chop his turret. Oh! This is getting really tight. He gets him in the rush and gets Dry Dude down. Ooh, Lord. I think Deuce was right. He did shatter his confidence a bit, but it is a really tough match, especially considering that Warriors have so much big burst damage, and Dry Dude just doesn't have the sustain.
Tactics Warrior. This new Tactics Warrior can basically out-sustain him so easily now.
Yeah.
Options for him to take.
Exactly. He
It
needs to
out
put more pressure.
DPSs him, and now it also out sustains it.
Yeah.
So here we go into game.
Ouch, Twitch chat. Oh man, throwing some shade on Dry.
Yeah, that's Moscow. But keep in mind, guys, it's a map mechanic. The map mechanic doesn't allow any healing at the end, so Drydu doesn't have the major healing that he can get from his support. He is running a Prot Hollow, as we can see here. He's running with Infiltration. Now he's going for a little bit more damage here. And with Demolisher, he's gone with Rune of the Infiltration. He's still got Alchemy Tools and Alchemy Inventions and Hollow. BK Hazard is running over here as Discipline, Tactics, and Strength. He's running with Greatsword, Axe, and Shield. Usually they run Warhorn and Tactics, but he's got Shield with him. And he's also got Leadership with Demolisher. There's a lot of different variants, and especially since this patch is so new, there's still no real meta that's been made, and people are trying to find it. The high-skilled players like BK Hazard are really going to start to set the tone. And like Lighter as well. And Deuce is a very good warrior. He's another Tactics warrior. I think we got 3 Tactics warriors in the semifinals.
Yeah, but Deuce is the ranger, melee ranger guy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't play Tactics Warrior like you would play Warrior. I play it like I play my melee ranger. Almost, you know.
It's basically the same, it's just you don't have your pet.
Kind of, and like I also like when I used to play Warrior as a main way back in the day, I played Hambo, and that was back on the old trait line system where you actually would hammer shock to a mob with a leg specialist. So I'm really good at setting up bursts with leg specialists because I have that like knowledge. So I do like that trait so much. And a lot of people lost the art form of using it as a burst setup since Hambo.
And Data, there is a couple changes that they're making. The last patch was more oriented towards World v World. It wasn't a major change.
EG from Dry Dude.
Really good. And
Getting over his PTSD. Let's see how this goes.
And the last patch that they did, it was more aimed towards, like I mentioned, towards World v World. It didn't really make too much of an impact. Actually, almost virtually zero impact. But it's like they're taking these baby steps to move towards World v World and really trying to cater to it. And as you might not know, or might know, Mike C or Mike O ended up stepping down from CEO. This was something that was happening a long time in the past. And Mike Z ended up taking his spot, who's really a guy who really advocates for World v World and things of that nature. So I'm very curious to see what's going to be coming up in the future. And they're also updating Spirit Watch too, from what I hear, to make it more competitive. So I'm super excited to see that.
That will be interesting. I'm interested about the build template stuff that's coming in.
Yeah, a lot of people are a little upset with it, but I don't, you know what I mean? There's so many.
I haven't read or heard the details. I just know they're doing something with it. I don't know if you need legendary armor for it. I think that you might, and that could be pretty meh.
No, I don't think you
The
need
new
anything.
build templates?
I don't think
you don't need legendary armor for it, but basically what you can do is each of the individual build templates, you're able to change the stats of your armor in each one. So you can either have multiple armor sets currently equipped on you, legendary armor, and change all the stats and runes and everything.
Gotcha. I wonder how it's going to affect PvP.
You get like a new inventory.
Yeah.
It doesn't really.
Will there be build templates for PvP? That's what I
currently the three builds that they're going to be using, since you already have 3 builds, your World v World, your PvP, and your PvE build. 3 builds that you'll see on your thing. So you can now, like, if you don't use a game mode, you can just like completely trade into that or whatever.
Gotcha.
Alright, back to the match. I don't feel like doing commentary until you reach about 30 seconds in.
I know, right? Like, although last match, I don't think it was.
Dryden is doing a really good job. Yeah, Dryden finished at 22 seconds.
Yeah.
Doing a good job over here.
Making me feel a little better. At least I got to the mechanic each time, you know?
After his match with you, Drydude was really kiting away from
VK a lot. I noticed that.
VK.
Like he was kind of
Yeah.
afraid to get close.
After that, he went back to his normal stat of the really heavy staying in with those auto attacks. And
I feel
really
like he
did a lot of
also
work.
learned from my match too, in a way. Like, and he's adjusting to VK's like play style.
Yeah. Saw that with when VK tried to do the eviscerate and Dryden just kind of stepped back and didn't waste any utility.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one's probably gonna go to mechanic, so Dry really needs to put some pressure on quick, I feel like, so that at least he has a little bit of an edge. Because I noticed that's what hurt me that one time, is I had a lot of damage taken right when the mechanic started, and I didn't get a chance to heal it up. Like, this looks good for Dry here. If he can keep up the pressure, he has the health advantage. He just has to use his range proper and not get caught. But it's gonna be close. Warrior has a lot of ways of catching him. Oof, that was bad. But he had some of an exchange, which wasn't too bad. Watch that blade trail, you reflex it, that was good.
Stab.
That rampage is gonna hurt. I don't think he had this. He did not invest for the rampage. I do too. Nice stun. Oh, beautiful. Now he just got to stand away from EK, like away from the mechanic, just to be safe. Oh no, don't roll that way. Dry, no! He has to kill him before vengeance. Oh man, that was close.
So close.
If Dry had stayed to the other side, even if he went down,
yeah, he would have been okay.
He needed damage because of vengeance, so it didn't matter. He needed damage. That actually was the right call.
Yeah.
That was smart.
It was really.
Was that the last match, or is there a
Yeah,
third?
it's Deuce versus Lighter now.
Oh man, will I win it? Ouch. Where's Lighter? Do I get a forfeit? Snipe it, Mike! Make him watch stream! I wanna win! Nah, I'm kidding. I wanna fight.
This is a best of 5, guys.
Up, down.
I'll be back in a minute.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots round 2. Ooh, nice one. Ace takes the first one. Ranger main. Ace Vault taking the win. Proving that Ranger mains a warrior better than any warrior. No, I'm just kidding. Goes to the final match of.
Alright, sorry about
Well,
that, guys.
maybe not the final match. Lighter still has a chance here.
Alright, what's our
A
series?
best of 5.
What's our series here?
Currently, Deus has won 2-0.
Oh, nice job, Deuce.
If he takes this one, he takes the win. Lighter still has a chance to maybe make some changes to his build. He hasn't so far, and I don't think he's going to. Let's see how this goes. Ooh. Healing. Oh my goodness, GG.
That's Deuce that takes it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. If you like this type of content, click that follow, click that subscribe. And for those of you who want to give me a couple minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes, I'll be sending out your gold. I'm just going to put the video in to mark down all the match results, and then put that into the bracket in the website. So once again, guys, thank you so much for following. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night. Let me see who I can pass you to here. I'm going to pass you over to Ryan OK Work.
That was the first tourney I've ever won from you, Mike.
Yay!
Made to the semis once, or the finals once, but that was the first tourney I won.